Welcome back to another episode of Automotive Insight. Today's repair is a 2012 Dodge Grand Caravan, 3.6 liter. Customer has stated that they had some extended cranking times. I told them to cycle the key a few times before starting, and ever since they've been doing that, it starts up right away. So with all that being said, we're not going to go to any much further diagnostics on this, but we are going to replace the fuel pump. So let's get to it. So to replace the fuel pump, we're going to have to drop the fuel tank down. It is in the middle of the van, in front of the rear axle. If you're following the manual, use the first couple of steps. It says to drain the fuel tank and to depressurize it. We're not going to do that. I don't typically find that necessary, but you can do that if you want to. In front of the tank, there are two connectors. Two fuel line connectors. We're going to remove those. These fuel lines have two clips on them. One's a locking. You can just push on the little ears that stick out. You can push out and push it up. Then you can push on a little white tab that sometimes spreads open and get it off. Sometimes you got to use a fuel line tool. Okay, next we're going to work on removing the filler neck tube. There's two hose clamps. They're 8 millimeters. The lower one on the tank is a 7 millimeter. You could also just use a flathead screwdriver. So on the back side of the tank near the charcoal canister, there is a 4-pin connector with a red locking tab. We went ahead and disconnected that. All right, next we're going to disconnect this evap hose here on the back side of the tank. Okay, we're going to disconnect the fresh air side of the charcoal canister because we're going to take the canister out with the tank. To remove the charcoal canister is a 15 millimeter bolt. There's a connector clipped to a brake line. We'll pry that off. And also there's a brake line connected to the thingamajigger. So we haven't completely removed our filler neck hose because it is really stiff right now and it's not being able to get it off. So we have it broke loose from the gas tank side. So we're going to remove it with it still in the vehicle and slide it out from the hose that way. So now we're going to work on removing the 4 fuel tank straps. They are 15 millimeters. There's 2 in the front, right there, and then the 2 on the back. There. And there. Everybody, while I'm working on getting this gas tank out, I'd like to talk about one of our partners at eManual Online. As I say at the end of my videos, I may not have all your answers, so that's where the OE manuals come in. They have everything from torque specs, wiring diagrams, diagnostics, and repair information for just about every vehicle on the road. Right now with promo code Automotive Insight 22, you get 22% off your purchase. Promo code expires April 30th, 2025. One other benefit is this is not a subscription-based service. After downloading, you get to keep the file. You can also have emanuel host your purchases in case of lost or corrupted files for a small fee. So go check them out and use promo code AutomotiveInsight22. All right, we got the tank down. This took 2 people to do it. We took the charcoal canister down with it because you don't have access to this hose, and then you don't have access up to here either because that screw is also trapped. So we took it all loose, and then we could take it off with the tank down. Now we'll probably go back in separate and angle the tank and put the charcoal canister in that way. But we're going to blow all this debris off. You can see a rodent nest there. It's a good idea to check for any wiring damage and get all this cleaned up, and then we'll install the new pump. There was also one more hose. This one had to be taken out as the tank was coming partially down. You can't reach this with the tank in the vehicle. We're going to disconnect our connector and remove disconnect our fuel line. We'll go ahead and remove our lock ring. They do make a special tool for these. I guess technically they maybe want you to use a brass punch. We'll use a pry bar and a hammer to get the lock ring off. Now's the time if you like to follow the instructions to the T or to the letter. I don't know what's the saying, either of those.
I think it's either.
Is if you drained your tank, is to clean out the tank. I usually look in it to make sure there's no heavy debris, and I just continue on. I'll put a new gasket on it and put the new pump in it. All right, we got our new pump in. We got our fuel line and connector connected. Next thing to do is to work it back into the vehicle. All right, well, that's going to wrap this repair up. This job does require 2 people to do. I was able to do about 75% of it, but once the tank started to come down, I did need a helping hand. Some of the things that could have been made easier, you probably could have still done this by yourself. The fuel filler neck, I would probably source one. We had a hard time getting that off. That was because it was stuck to the fuel tank itself. You do run the risk of tearing it and poking holes in that, but we was able to get it off and reuse it. I installed a new Delphi fuel pump. I've had good results with that brand. You can source this from about $300 to $500. The OE fuel pump costs $870. Hopefully we earned a thumbs up from you. I may not have all your answers. Hopefully I had some. That being said, we'll see you on the next one.
Said I'll pick you up at 8. You probably won't be awake. Call yourself an Uber, babe. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait.
Like to live on the wild side a little bit.
Yeah, you sound like it. I like to live on the wild side.